Paris. The Eiffel Tower. Beautiful architecture. Amazing croissants. And fantastic art galleries. In this video, we'll be exploring the beautiful city of Paris, France, and all that it has to offer. Hi, my name is Nick Martin, and this is my lovely wife Martha, and we're so happy because we're going on our dream vacation to Europe. And we got a little extra leg room for the long journey. And we flew Condor, which had a very interesting safety video. We were flying from Seattle to a layover in Frankfurt, which was about a 10-hour flight. So after a pasta dinner and a snack of Tillamook cheese, we broke out our neck pillows and tried to get some rest. During our layover in Frankfurt, we grabbed a bratwurst for lunch and then back on the plane for Paris. We got into Paris just as the sun was setting, which cast this beautiful rose-colored light on the Arc de Triomphe. Now we stayed at the Hotel Le Clef Tour Eiffel, which has amazing ratings on TripAdvisor, and I can see why. It is a gorgeous hotel. And it has a really good breakfast buffet. I'll get to that later. The hotel is also really close to the Eiffel Tower there. So of course, even though it was late, we had to go see the Eiffel Tower. It was an incredible experience to see this iconic structure. On the first morning of Paris, we decided to go explore the city. We went to this bakery that I think is pronounced Du Pain et d'Azadis, and it was amazing. I mean, check out all this wonderful baked goods that they have. Look how flaky this croissant is. Oh my gosh, it is so good, so buttery, so flaky.
It's really good, huh?
It was actually one of the best French bakeries that I've ever been to. They're also known for these escargot croissants, and they're not filled with snails, but they're filled with a pistachio cream that has a little bits of chocolate, and they are very delicious too. For lunch, we went to Angelina, which is a very nice restaurant, and they're most known for their hot chocolate. Take a look at this. It was one of the richest, creamiest hot chocolates that I have ever had in my life. I also had to try their brioche French toast in caramel sauce. My wife had a croissant with egg and salmon. So good. After lunch, we walked around Paris and saw the amazing Luxor obelisk. This is a 3,000-year-old obelisk that pays tribute to Ramses II. We took a stroll through the park and headed towards the famous street known as Champs-Élysées. It is a street well known for its fancy shops, and at the end of it lies the Arc de Triomphe. It was commissioned in 1806 to celebrate the military achievements of the French armies. We were also there to try this famous French bakery called La Durée. They are well known for the desserts, and especially their macarons. I've not been a big fan of macarons, but this place changed me. They were so flaky and creamy and sweet, full of flavor. They were amazing. Then we went on a bus tour of Paris and saw some incredible sights. My wife and I love to take these bus tours because we get to see a whole bunch of things in a short amount of time, like the statue of George Washington. And of course the Eiffel Tower. Now these bus tours tend to go past the most famous tourist spots in the city, and they're reasonably priced. So it's a good way to see the city, especially if you don't have a lot of time. Now on the second day of Paris, we decided to go on a full day walking tour of Paris. And this package is from Expedia called Paris in a Day, Eiffel Tower, Scene Cruise, and optional Louvre. It currently has a 4.7 out of 5 rating on Expedia, and we can definitely see why because it was an amazing tour. But first we went to our hotel's buffet to charge up for our walking tour. This place has everything, including this wonderful coffee machine, perfect for charging up in the morning. Look at all these options that it has. We fell in love with this coffee machine. This buffet had everything from croissants and breads to whole baguettes for making sandwiches, Nutella, and meats and eggs and beans and these picture-perfect fruits. We really enjoyed this buffet. Now that we were fueled up, it was time to go on our walk. We started off at the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. Check out this amazing structure. So many details went into the construction of this building, including a statue of Joan of Arc. Now this tour let us go inside, and it was amazing. We did not take any videos or photos. I'm not even sure if it was allowed, but if you're here, you definitely have to go in and check this out. It is incredible. Check out this view from the basilica. Gorgeous. After the basilica, we walked around Montmartre, which is a neighborhood well known for its artists, including some great artists like Picasso, Van Gogh, Monet. It was amazing to be able to walk around some of the same areas that these great artists lived at. The famous place, La Consolate, which many famous artists were known to hang out at, as you can see from the sign on the building. We walked around Montmartre for quite a while and saw some beautiful buildings, including its very own vineyard. And this famous cabaret, the Le Pont Agile, which influenced some great artists like Picasso. We took a little coffee break, and then it was off to the subway to go to our next location. Our subway stop was at the Mountain Saint-Michel. Beautiful fountain. After a while, we headed out towards one of the greatest cathedrals, I think, of all time. Notre-Dame. Mostly completed by 1260, this is considered to be one of the best Gothic cathedrals of all time. It was so sad because there was a large fire just recently that destroyed a lot of the cathedral and we couldn't go inside and see it. But the good news is that they can still repair it, so it just means we'll have to come back to Paris again one day. After Notre-Dame, we walked around and saw some beautiful architecture, including this Gothic tower, which is the St. James Tower. We hopped back on the subway and headed towards one of the most famous museums, the Louvre. But first we had to grab some lunch, so I got a hamburger and my wife got some French onion soup at a local hotel, the Hotel de Louvre, and then it was off to see the museum. This is what it looks like underneath those famous glass pyramids. So many great artworks can be found at the Louvre, including this lady, which we had to wait in line for a considerable amount of time, maybe an hour or so. But we eventually got to the room, which was full of people. Look at that line, just to see the Mona Lisa. And there she is. A little smaller than I anticipated, but it was still incredible to see this historical painting that was painted by Leonardo da Vinci back in the 1500s. After the Mona Lisa, we walked around the museum and saw some amazing art pieces. Even the museum itself is an art piece. I mean, look at that. Many famous statues here. Here's the famous winged Nike that is actually the Greek goddess of victory. They say that it was created probably back around the 2nd century BC. The famous Venus de Milo, which was probably created prior to 100 BC. Or this Greek statue of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. There's so much artwork in this museum, it's almost overwhelming just how much there is. You can almost spend probably a whole day in this museum. Since we didn't have a whole day, it was off to go see the Eiffel Tower. Now there's over 1,665 steps from the bottom of the tower to the top. But luckily, there is an elevator. Check out these views from the top of the Eiffel Tower. On the 2nd floor is kind of nice. They have a place where you can sit down, and there's little places where you can get drinks and some snacks and just hang out and enjoy the view. Before you knew it, it was time to leave the tower and go on our next adventure, which was a cruise on the river Seine. We also got another look at the beautiful Notre-Dame, and we actually got a better look than what we did walking around because we could actually get closer to it and see some of the side views. I've always wanted to see this cathedral, and it was a little bit sad that there was a fire that destroyed a lot of it, but it was still an incredible experience to see. And I will come back to Paris one day when it has been restored. I just love this old, beautiful architecture. You don't really get to see that in the United States that much. And we're so fortunate. As we came back, the sun was setting, and we're on our river cruise. Got some beautiful sunset footage of the river and the Eiffel Tower. For dinner, we wanted to go to a French restaurant, so we ended up at Chez Fernand and actually tried escargot for the first time.
Pour a little juice on there. Very good.
I have to say it was really good. The taste mostly comes from the marinade that they put on there with all the herbs. It's very delicious. Dessert, we had their chocolate souffle with a salted caramel ice cream.
The salted caramel ice cream, it's even delicious. It's like, and the thing is, it's like
I can't wait to dig into this. Hot chocolate cake, salted caramel ice cream.
that's exactly. We meet with them weekly. We're using our best resources for them, and I'm just like, no, we should be able to like have a product that is what it is.
That is good.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man,
Good.
you gotta try this.
Oh,
You
I
gotta try
tried it. I tried the ice cream.
No, try the whole thing.
Okay.
So that's the end of our French trip. And first, I want to apologize because I probably did not pronounce some of those French words properly. I'm not a native French speaker, so je suis désolé. Mon français n'a pas bien, but I did try my best. So hopefully that means something. But yeah, we really love Paris. It's a beautiful city. Our next country that we're going to go visit is the Netherlands, and I'm super excited by that, and I can't wait to share that with you.